bigger is not always better. And that could not be more true with Azulle products. Hey guys, how are you today? David Franco here from thefrancomedia.com. Brand new website completely dedicated to my business. Yes, finally, I actually have a website dedicated to the services that I offer, from design to video editing to YouTube optimization. Bada bing, bada boom. Check it out in the video description right below. And of course, I'll talk about that in a future video. Okay, so today's video is not about that. Today's video is about this little guy right here. This is the Azulle Byte3 Windows 10 Fanless Mini PC. Now that description sounds very familiar because I feel like I say that in every Azulle product review I do, but that's because it's the truth. Azulle proudly creates products that are just virtually, well, actually physically and virtually, if you want to put it that way, silent. Yes, fanless means silent. Zero moving parts whatsoever. And honestly, that's one of the top reasons that I keep in mind when talking about and recommending, that's a good word, recommending Azulle products. But anyway, I'll talk about this and my favorite features in a bit. But before we do that, let's jump into some specs for my fellow geeks out there. Okay, so what do we have going on here? We've got a quad-core Intel Apollo Lake CPU, 4 gigs of RAM with 8 gigs being optional, 32 gigabytes of eMMC storage. However, with that said, the Byte3 does support 2.5-inch and M2 SSDs. Yes, the Byte3 actually supports M2 SSDs. That alone, I think, is pretty awesome. Yeah, I just say that because I just recently finished building my first gaming PC in over 10 years, so the whole M2 SSD thing, it's just exciting to me. And of course, just like past Azulle products, we have an onboard SD card slot for expandable storage, up to 256 gigs. Talking about graphics real briefly, Intel HD Graphics 500. Not bad, not bad. However, let's get to the internet because honestly, I think internet is one of the features that shines most on the Azulle Byte3 just because of the fact that the computer is so small and that you can take it from location to location. So of course, this is going to be quite versatile when it comes to internet connectivity. So yes, we do have onboard dual band Wi-Fi, gigabit Ethernet, come on, you gotta have that. And of course, Bluetooth 4.0 for your wireless accessories. Now talking about I/O, which stands for input, output, we have 3 USB 3.0 ports, 1 USB 2.0 port, and get this, 1 USB Type-C port. Yes, USB-C for the win. And well, let me just say this, USB-C is definitely the future of USB, so it's nice to see that Azulle is embracing that technology. And for you headphones lovers, we do have a 3.5mm audio jack. But for video buffs like myself, we've got HDMI 2.0 support, which does support 4K video at 60 frames per second. And going back in time a bit, we do have a VGA port. You can indeed run dual displays at the same time, one on HDMI and one on VGA. Why not? And finally, the Byte3 does have 3G support, which could be nice. I didn't get to use it myself, but I'm assuming it works just fine. We even get infrared control using the included remote control. I'll talk about that in a bit. And finally, a Kensington lock for those worried about safety. Or theft is the better word. Okay, so with all the specs out of the way, let's get into the more realistic portion of the video. I guess that's the best way of putting it, because specs could be amazing, which I think they are pretty great for a product this small, but without a good performance, you've got nothing with great specs, right? Of course, they have to go hand in hand with one another, which is why I'll never understand why fanboys of certain brands brag about this being more powerful than this. Well, specs don't mean anything if the performance and the actual experience is lackluster. Well, thankfully, and you can probably predict this, I'm loving this PC. It's actually the fastest and most impressive Windows 10 fanless PC from Azulle that I've used yet. Now, is that saying a lot? I don't know. I don't know because, I mean, it kind of makes sense that they get better with each product, but at the same time, you'd think I would be bored with Azulle products by now, considering I've used, what, like 3 to 5 PCs from them by now? But no, that is not the case. I am loving this PC. It's ultra smooth for video, like really smooth, so much faster than previous Azulle products, and it just works beautifully, especially with my Logitech, I think K400 Plus TV it's called. Yeah, it's a keyboard with a built-in trackpad. I'll link it right below if you guys are curious. It's like $20, $25. Okay, so anyway, who is this Azulle Byte3 Mini PC for? Well, allow me to explain in my opinion. Number 1, Media Center PC. This is gonna be perfect for media buffs like myself who enjoy Netflix, Plex, Hulu, YouTube. I mean, come on, you could be watching this video on your own Byte3 right now. Number 2, it's perfect for video conferencing and presentations. There's no reason whatsoever why you can't take this from your house to your workplace and vice versa. It's just so small. You connect it, boom, and you are good to go. Number 3, the Byte3 is small enough and quiet enough for that matter to be a small file server. Because, well, let's not forget, we do have plenty of USB on the side here. Boom, hard drive, and you got terabytes of data to work with. And finally, this is a great general usage Windows 10 PC for the family. Not everyone needs an over-the-top computer. Because guys, let's face it, the average user does what on their PC? YouTube, email, social media, word processing. So yeah, I mean the Byte3, it's gonna be perfect for families. Okay, so with the usage case scenarios on the side, let me talk about my personal favorite features about the Byte3. The build quality is excellent. It just feels like it's built really well, and it's not too light to the point where it feels cheap. It's got a little bit of heft to it. It's fanless. Come on, fanless. Quiet is good. That means less distraction and more focus on your work, entertainment, email, social media, whatever. Performance. It's the best I've seen out of any Azulle product yet. Okay, so I said that a couple minutes ago, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Performance on this thing, it's not bad considering its tiny size. It's a portable desktop. Why wouldn't you want to take this from your home to your dorm room, to your apartment, to a friend's house, to wherever? Work. This thing can go anywhere as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet connection, as well as obviously a power connection. And the wireless remote. Now, I haven't talked about this much in past videos like my unboxing video, but I promise I'll talk about this in future videos, such as the weekend vlog. But let me just say this right now. The ease of use and convenience of this remote is really cool. I can actually turn on and shut down and sleep and turn the volume up on this PC using this remote. And guys, I just gotta say this, and I realize it's just a remote, but in the big picture, it's not just a remote. It's the convenience is what I love the most. You don't have to use a keyboard to do basic commands. You don't need to use a mouse to do basic commands. You need this. Okay, so of course with that said, definitely get yourself a keyboard or mouse because the Byte3 does not include those. But the fact that this is included in the box, I don't know. I just think it's really neat. But then again, I'm easily amused. And finally, my last favorite feature about the Azulle Byte3 is the fact that it's just so tiny. I mean, look at this. It is so small. And of course, if you don't want the Wi-Fi antenna showing, put it down. Not a big deal. It's just a well-designed product, and I think Azulle did a great job overall. So guys, there you go. There is my review of the Azulle Byte3. Now, of course, my usage may differ when compared to your usage. You might not do as much Netflix and YouTube watching as I do on this thing, and maybe you do more word processing, and that's fine because I can guarantee you this thing's gonna work perfectly with Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint. Come on guys, we gotta get away from PowerPoint. I know, some of us like to use it, but as Dwight in The Office says,
PowerPoint is boring.
But if you have to use PowerPoint in your life, then why not use the Byte3? So guys, there you go. I hope you enjoyed my review, but of course, as always, just ask questions right below if you have any concerns or feedback regarding this product. Yeah, and actually I will say, I'm thinking of featuring this in my future holiday gift guide video for 2017 because it's just that neat. It's convenient, it just works, and probably best of all, aside from the fact that it's completely silent, it's pretty affordable. So check it out right below on Azulle's website. Speaking of that, thank you so much to Azulle for sending this my way. I appreciate it. This is now my default Windows 10 PC here in the office on my TV, and I love it for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Your support always means a lot to me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.